You may have clicked into this video thinking to yourself, am I really about to watch someone talk about a camera that was released in 2016 today in 2022? And the answer to that question is yes. Yes, you are. This is the Fujifilm X Pro 2, and I want to talk about why you may want to consider nabbing one for yourself. Let's go ahead and hop into it. As mentioned, the X Pro 2 was released in 2016, sharing the same sensor and almost no video specs as its beast of a hybrid brother, the X-T3. I personally own the X-T3 and I loved that body. For being honest though, the X Pro 2 has aged quite a bit. It's slow, it's clunky, it really has no dedicated video mode, and in that video mode you're limited to a center-weighted autofocus system, which is kind of weird, but it is what it is. This is a photo driver. Despite all that, this has to be one of, if not the most fun cameras that I've ever shot with. Fuji have been killing the game for a long time with their classic bodies, and the X Pro 2 is no different. The rangefinder style design hosts the same tactile command dials that you find on most other Fuji bodies, and it has an interchangeable lens mount, which in my opinion makes it more useful than the X100 series cameras. On top of all that, it came right out of the box in 2016 with beautiful color science and the film simulations that we all know and love from Fuji. The X Pro 2 was, and still is in my opinion, one of the staples in Fuji's lineup, and I think it paved the way for a lot of their modern bodies. So if the rangefinder style design of this camera doesn't invoke that classic vintage feel, the next thing that I'm about to mention will, and that is the viewfinder selector switch, or as I call it, the dope switch. Now what exactly does this switch do? This allows you to change the viewfinder between a traditional electronic viewfinder like you would find on any other mirrorless camera, or by clicking the switch over, it will put the viewfinder in optical viewfinder mode, no different than a rangefinder film camera. Fuji did this for two reasons. Number one, it does help conserve battery life if you want to squeeze out a few extra frames from your battery. More importantly than that though, it just adds to that vintage rangefinder experience. Now, for an idiot like me who is not good at composing with a rangefinder style viewfinder, Fuji has us covered. Inside the OVF, they do have framing guidelines. You also still have your electronic meter, you have focus peaking. You still get all the benefits of the EVF, but you just get to do it with an optical feel. And if the optical feel scares you, then once again, you can switch it back to the EVF, which is gonna give you a true example of what your exposure is, your focus peaking, and what your image looks like before you fire the shot. So one of my unofficial forms of measuring a camera's worth is how much I actually want to pick it up and take it with me whenever I leave the house. For example, the EOS R that I traded to get the X Pro 2 was a wonderful body when it came to delivering results. However, if I wasn't using it for a paid gig, the camera to me was boring. It was stale. I didn't really want to take it with me. It was big and chunky, not really good for family shooting situations. It did its job. It had great results, and you know, I've done a lot of professional work with the R, but the shooting experience for me was just clinical. It was good, but nothing exciting. I can honestly say that the X Pro 2 goes with me about 99% of the time I leave the house, whether that be going to the gas station, going out to shoot some family pictures, to shoot BTS on one of our paid jobs. I just want to shoot with this thing. Currently on the used market, the X Pro 2 body alone can be had for about $900 to $1,200 depending on what site you find it on and the condition. If you pair that with a good lens like the 23mm f2, which is one of my favorite Fuji lenses of all time, it's light, compact, sharp, great little lens to shoot with, or the 18 to 55 lens that is a kit in most of Fuji's lineup, I believe at that point in time you'd have a very stout photo rig. So in the race to have the newest, highest pixel count, fastest camera that is on the market, I want to speak as a voice of opposition today and encourage you to slow down. Try a body that's clunky, that makes you think about your composition before firing off 17 million shots, and honestly feels as warm as a hug from your mama. Consider adopting an X Pro 2. It's no different than adopting a elderly dog from the animal shelter. It may have its array of issues like not peeing on the puppy pad when it's supposed to every single time, but I think it rewards you with the results. That's a terrible comparison. If you do get an X Pro 2, I would love to see your results over on Instagram. You can tag me at Garrett_wear_. That's where I post all of my images from this particular one. And as always, guys, if you like this video, want to see more like it in the future, subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. I love growing this community here on YouTube. Y'all have a good one, and we'll see you in the next.